This weekly word is inspired by the Word of God. It's a 5-minute broadcast that will inspire, motivate, and introduce you to the Word of God by relating everyday words to scriptures. I'm your host, Oreen Newton. Let's get started. Hi there. The word of the week for the week of June 26, 2022 is anger. Anger, A-N-G-E-R. The definition of anger is a strong emotion of annoyance, displeasure, or hostility. Our scriptures come from Ephesians 6 chapter 4th verse. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. And James 1st chapter 19th verse through the 20th. Know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. For the anger of man does not produce the righteousness of God. After attending a recent funeral, a family member almost lost her life when a young man went on an angry rant that left 2 men killed and 2 injured. He shot out the back of her car and her tire. Only by the grace of God was she not in the vehicle. The gunman got away after a flurry of over 25 shots were fired. Teachers are leaving their beloved profession in droves because of the daily abuse from angry students and their even angrier parents. Peaceful protesters are almost a thing of the past because angry, unyielding politicians are more bent on stirring up their base than finding peaceful solutions to the country's problems. Parricide is becoming an epidemic as children choose to resolve their anger toward their parents by shutting them up permanently. A tourist who was just getting off the plane at the airport, when asked how he found Americans, he answered, angry. As a society, we are struggling with nothing new. We have just in my lifetime had to struggle with overwhelming inflation, wars, poverty, radical changes in our politics, scarcity of food, and multiple out-of-control diseases. I have, however, never experienced this level of uncontrolled anger. No one is exempt. It is everywhere. We hardly ever hear please, thank you, or can I help you from a stranger. We can walk down the street or sit at the lunch counter or sit in the hallway at church, and most people are either lost in their own thought, looking at their phone, or talking to an unknown entity in their earbuds. We're lacking in positive human connectivity. Not only do we dwell on our anger, we allow it to fester, because to forgive shows what? That we are weak? Most of us are acting as if God's answer to Cain's question, am I my brother's keeper, was a resounding no. Everyone seems willing to aggressively defend their need to be right, and instead of walking in the righteousness of God, everyone is walking in their own righteousness. It seems as if God's standard of righteousness is being lost. And why is that? Who is preaching and teaching the Word of God? Who among us is showing the example of God's love as expressed in our scriptures? Are you, mommy and daddy, taking the time, without overly criticizing your children, to guide, teach, and instruct them in the ways of God? Are you, grandparent, teacher, neighbor, or friend, showing the youth by example that you are willing to listen, give instruction with wisdom, and yes, say I'm sorry when you've been offensive or wrong? Are you, preacher, talking directly to your young members about how to speak, how to listen, and how to act when they are angry? Healthy anger can release fear, anxiety, and frustration without causing harm. It is an emotion that, left uncontrolled, can become uncontrollable. We don't have to be taught anger. Love, like anger, is an emotion, but it is an emotion that can bring unrighteousness under God's control. Love is antithetical to anger, hate, violence, and corruption. So next time you want to give someone a piece of your mind, why don't you tell them with your justified anger, I'm going to love you in spite of you. Imagine the surprise on the face of your victim. This might just be the soft answer that can turn your wrath and theirs into a smile. As a matter of fact, I think next time I get angry, I'm going to try it. How about you? Oreen out. We hope you've enjoyed the Word of the Week, and if it's been of inspiration to you, please feel free to go to www.wow-newton.com